First of all, I think of quality scores, it does three things for Google, which I'm going to walk through first. It's a bozo filter, and I think the examples we saw are a great example, right? If you're misleading the user, if you're trying to sell financial advice to game users, Google's going to prevent that. Sort of gets a lot of stuff just out of the way. On the other side, I really think it's also a rewards program. If you get a good quality score, you really get an advantage. We all do a lot of things to improve quality score because we want the advantage in ad rank specifically, where we can pay less and get a higher position and show our ad more. So there's a lot of advantage to being a member of that club. Most importantly, and this quality score is secret sauce. When things happen that we don't quite understand, the reason is quality score. There's usually not enough information to actually do that. The guidelines Google give are great, but they're a little bit vague. It gives Google, I believe still, a lot of room to do what Google wants to do and leaves us guessing. So why does quality score matter? Quality score is sort of like PageRank was. It's the PageRank of PPC side of the world. It's this boogeyman figure that everyone's afraid of. No one knows exactly how it works, and people know they should worry about, but I don't think they know why. But the idea that ad rank is your bid times your quality score is the reason we want to care about quality score. In my view, paid search people spend way too much time worrying about bids, and as a vendor of what's often called bid management software and paid search management platform, we think bidding is vastly overrated. But if you think of it in this term, that you've got two variables that are going to determine when you show up and where you show up and some degree how much you pay, bid is easy to manipulate, it's easy to see, you can try to spend your way out of the problem. But there's this other factor that has, conceptually, we don't know the actual ranking. I'm sure Google has come up with a formula slightly more complex than this, than bid times quality score in terms of weighting them and other factors. But if we improve quality score, it's just as good as improving your bid. And if you have a low quality score, you also have to overcompensate with your bid. And I think that's what a lot of people do. Their ads aren't doing well, what do? They gut wrench and they raise the bid. Working on quality score is just as important. So how do you see it? We already saw this. Google makes it available with the little hovercraft thing where the little window pops up. It is available in an AdWords report that you can go pull a report and get an actual list of quality score. In ClickEquations, which is our platform, Google has made quality score and first page minimum bid available in API. We put it in immediately, so we let you see on a keyword basis both numbers. But in terms of quality score, you can get it. You've had to work for it. Google has done a great job of making it a lot easier to get this number recently. The other thing I want to talk about, though, that is, I think, less well known, is that there's another way to get an inkling of what's going on with quality score, the impact of quality score, which is Google's impression share number. So Google will tell you the percentage of the time your ads are showing against when they're eligible to show. People think if they bought a keyword and they made a bid, other than, there's the not showing indicator, which, the idea that your ads are not showing a large percentage of the time, most people, I know from fact, many people don't even know what this metric is. Your ads are not showing 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% of the time your ads are not even being shown to people searching on relevant keywords, on keywords that Google says match. And the impression share statistic tells you that. They'll tell you whether that was because of bid or rank. So this is where it relates to quality score, right? If your ads aren't showing because of rank, then either you're not bidding enough or you've got too low a quality score. And when you plot this out, which is one of the features that we have in ClickEquations, you start seeing that these are campaigns. Impression share is only available to campaign level, unfortunately, at this point. But I've got campaigns. If I look in the middle there and I've got the dog category, if that's an important category to me, the fact that I'm not showing my ads 70% of the time, and this is exact. There's impression share exact, so I won't go into the vagaries of that right now. But this means people type keywords that you have bought specifically, throwing out all the vagaries of match type, and your ads are still not showing 70% of the time. If that's the category you want to be making money on, or maybe even worse, that you are making money on when people do click, you could do 70% better if you get your ads to show. Often quality score has a lot to do with that. We take it a step further and then take the missing clicks, convert them based on the average revenue per click into what you're losing, and now we can show that in this case, this account lost $27,000 to missing impression share, and it happened to be 46% of the total revenue of the period. That's a big opportunity. We have a lot of these metrics we call opportunity indexes. So one of the problems with paid search management is we all got hundreds of thousands of keywords and ad groups. What do we do on Monday morning with the 3 hours we got? This gives you an idea of where to go spend that time, what to fix. And what I'm suggesting, and a lot of this is because of quality score, and impression share gives you a look at that you wouldn't normally get just by saying I've got a 6 over there and a 7 over there. So what's driven it? That's already been mentioned, and I'm very glad to hear Google say this, because I think, like some of the sort of page rank myths, people go, there's these other factors other than click-through rate, and people spend all their time chasing, Google told us that we must have a privacy policy on our page, and the load times must be X, and I think that's all in the bozo filter category, and actually it works out that the bozo filter goes first. And if you get bozo filtered out in a bad quality score, then non-click-through rate things might matter. Like total irrelevance of the copy or the landing page or a deceptive ad. But once you get past that, it's click-through rate, and I think the wisdom of the crowd's analogy is a great one to use. So obsess about your click-through rate. And what does that mean? That means do a better job with your text ads. Do more tests, write more text ads, because that's where you get click-through rate as much as anything else. So relevance matters, and there's these other factors, and you want to get them right, but worry about them proportionally is all I'm suggesting. A few little tidbits here, and this is where Google's a master of pleasant and slightly vague language about how things actually work, I think. There are multiple quality scores. Right? There's an overall account history quality score that impacts when you add new keywords or a new category you've never been before. Google sort of looks at your historic reputation to decide whether you're going to have a high minimum first page bid or a low. We made the mistake a year or so ago of opening we had an account that we were working with tens of millions of pages, nearly a million keywords, and we loaded them up and said go, and we were asked to pay $10 for every celebrity name in the world. And we did, I must say, for a month or two, and we now pay 11 cents on average for that. So we had no history in that account. It was a brand new account, and I'm not necessarily surprised it happened. It would have been nice to find a better way out than that. So there's a history, there's these multiple levels of quality score. So in terms of you controlling it, we sort of feel like, oh, if I do this right, I'm going to win. Well, there's the keyword quality score. There's some concept of a group quality score, which is why having bad keywords, low-performing keywords mixed in is a bad idea. Having bad clumpings of keywords, which is bad for a lot of reasons, factors. So there's many of them. And then the other thing which Google announced recently when they made some changes, and I think this is new, is that quality score is computed in real time during the search. So this almost blows away the idea that your keyword has a quality score. It has an average quality score, and these multiple quality scores exist. But quality score is computed when the user searches based on the query they typed, based on their geography at the time. So what Google has said that if you get a query from New York and you do better in New York, you're going to get a better quality score for searches from New York than Oklahoma if you've got products that don't go over big there. So it's a vague concept, which goes to what Matt said, which is we want to do the general things right, and then we'll get the general good results. So some ideas about what you do about it. I'm a big believer in reorganization and architecting your campaigns for success. We talked yesterday about how the success of your text ads is dependent on which keywords you're aiming at it, as well as how well you write the text ads. I think in quality score it's the same idea. If we organize tight campaigns and think about the queries more than the keywords, what people are going to type and what does that mean they want, then we can produce a far better result, and we'll get a good quality score. Killing the losers, keyword expansion, I think is I don't want to say it's a myth, but people focus on, they want all the keywords they can get. And they forget, and quality score, I think, proves and memorializes, but having bad performing keywords is hurting you. You want to get rid of them. If they're not losers, isolate the questionable. And this is based on this idea that the ad group has a quality score, and perhaps the campaign does, and there's this nesting of quality scores. If you've got all your high-performing keywords in a topic, leave them together and have a different ad group, I would suggest, with the ones that your boss is making you run, or you're testing, or something else. I think that works for the text ad, that works for a lot of things. It works for bidding. It also works for looking at the statistics. Let's do the statistics that Matt mentioned. So one of the cool things since Google put quality score in the API is we can bring it in and play with the numbers. So I'm going to show you first a couple of accounts, and there's a pattern that I've seen in terms of what is a good quality score. So this is a mid-sized retailer spending $20,000 or $30,000, but you also see the distribution of revenue against them. And this, I will say in advance, is a typical curve that we see. So in my experience, in our experience, 7 is sort of the mean page rank. And the way I look at it when I analyze campaigns is if a quality score is below 7, we're in the penalty area, and above, we're getting a boost of it.
If we look at a few others, we'll get a sense of the pattern. This is a more prominent retailer with a more well-known brand, therefore a lot higher click-through rate. But if we look at some more, we see they cluster around 7, some higher, some lower. If we look at quality score versus click-through rate and some other metrics, we do see there is a correlation. The higher quality score keywords get a better click-through rate, and the slope continues. There does seem to be a kick up at the end, which we assume is because there's new keywords that are getting a good click-through rate but have not yet earned a higher quality score. And similarly, average position correlates sort of as you'd expect. Top quality scores get a lower average position. For more information, please visit us at ClickEquations.com. The ClickEquations blog has a long series of posts on quality score and a webinar. And I'd encourage everyone to go sign up for a ClickEquations trial. You can get 30 days free with our software and get these great quality score statistics and other benefits for yourself. Thank you.